Thank you very much, Ms. Fernando. The BCIS is privileged to have with us today the Prime Minister of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, Honorable Dr. Harini Amarasooriya, as our chief guest. We are deeply grateful for her acceptance of our invitation despite her busy schedule. It is now our honor to invite Dr. Harini Amarasooriya to address the gathering.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Madam Chandrika Bandaranayake Kumaratunga, Chairperson BCIS, Ms. Eva Abdullah, Chairperson of the Maldives Policy Think Tank and former Deputy Speaker of the People's Majlis of the Republic of the Maldives, members of the BCIS Council of Management and Academic Affairs Board, the Director General of the SWRD Bandaranayake National Memorial Fund, Mr. Banjula Karya Ms. Priyanthi Fernando, the Executive Director of the BCIS, Your Excellencies and representatives of the Diplomatic Corps, BCIS faculty and staff, and most importantly, students of the BCIS International Relations Program, families, ladies and gentlemen. I want to start by congratulating the BCIS on its 50th anniversary. The SWRD Bandaranayake National Memorial Foundation and its institutions, the BMICH and the BCIS, were inaugurated when Sri Lanka was at the zenith of its position in the world, even though it was even then a relatively poor country. Today, the BMICH hall in which we are now is an iconic landmark of Colombo. It was here that Sri Lanka demonstrated her position as an international consensus builder and as a leader in the non-aligned movement, hosted the summit of the non-aligned movement in 1976. Other examples of this consensus building from the global south include stewardship of the law of the sea in the 1980s and the Non-Proliferation Treaty in 1995, diplomatic assets that we need to protect and enhance. I have also been encouraged to see that this BMICH campus is a public space that is constantly being used by citizens and citizens' organizations, whether it is for the International Book Fair, University Convocations, and the BCIS Festival of Ideas, trade fairs, or many other small or large events. The diploma or certificate you receive today will make you an alumnus of the Bandaranayake Center for International Center. Over 50 years, the BCIS has been conducting courses on international relations, pioneering the study of the subject when there were no such courses offered even in our universities, and then continuing to complement the university courses with its own curricula and specialized areas of study. An understanding of the patterns, processes, and interactions that shape international relations is vital for navigating the growing complexities of an interconnected world, particularly for small states like Sri Lanka. It is important that you celebrate joining a very respected body of diplomats, foreign service personnel, academics, statesmen, women and men working with civil society as legislators, lawyers, teachers, activists, and media personnel who have also been through the portals of the BCIS over the last 5 years. Congratulations and very well done. Many of you also belong to the 38% of Sri Lanka's citizens who I would call the younger generation or the youth. You have had a tough time. I understand the frustration you may feel with the political system and culture that have hindered meaningful participation. You may have felt that your educational and economic opportunities were limited and that you were not able to live unpressured as equal members of society with dignity and respect. The Arugale called for a system change. Many of you might have been part of that. And here's your chance to contribute to achieving that change by putting your learning to good use as proactive citizens. A country's foreign policy is influenced by its geographical location, population, history, economic resources, ideology, government efficiency, quality of diplomacy, as well as by crises and immediate events, technological advancements, international law and institutions. At best, foreign policy should reflect national interests and offer a perspective on human and global interests of the state. It should not be purposed for the gains of a small political elite. Our main national interest at this point in time, is to stabilize our economy and work towards economic recovery. As a part of Asia, the world's largest region in terms of population, a region that is growing economically, but where geopolitical tensions are rising among international and regional powers, our security and regional stability are likely to be challenged. Right now, Sri Lanka's foreign relations are influenced significantly by our attempts to recover from the economic and debt crisis. But we have important diplomatic recognition earned through some wise and correct actions of the past. We have been standing on the right side of history, promoting peace, sovereignty of nations on various international issues. We have never supported any international war, and we have a good name among many nations for our principal positions. Some of these positions we damaged in our recent past, but I think earlier on we were able to establish a good name for ourselves simply because of the principal positions we took on many contentious issues. These precious diplomatic assets should be employed to meet new challenges. As students of international relations, I encourage you to go beyond the traditional theory and practice of international relations and to critically engage with global current affairs from a multidisciplinary perspective. There are diverse areas where your expertise is needed. For example, as a littoral state of the Indian Ocean region, there are contributions you can make to developing Sri Lanka as a significant nautical center while understanding the livelihoods of the fisher community, as our fisher community in our country cannot be compromised in any way. Similarly, neither the people's land nor our environment should be an inevitable collateral damage of foreign policy. The way a government does foreign policy does have an impact on the country's citizens, and it is our duty to safeguard the lives and dignity of all Sri Lankans, especially the most vulnerable groups in our society. The development of and greater access to communications technology means that groups of people whose voices have been silenced up to now are linking across borders to bring their concerns to national and international policy-making forums. These diverse movements must also be a part of the multidisciplinary study and practice of international relations. It is clear that these voices need to be strengthened and that the international, political, economic and financial infrastructures need to be reformed to include them. As you walk away with your certificates and diplomas, also take with you the ambition of changing the system to be more inclusive and more equitable. This is, I think, the system change that this country has been yearning for, and you, as diplomats, as a young generation, have a special responsibility to make sure that that system change that people yearn for is made a reality. I wish you all the very best and look forward to the significant contributions that you, along with other BCIS alumni, teachers, staff, the executive director, the chairperson and governing body members, and friends will make towards building a thriving nation where every Sri Lankan can lead a life of dignity, opportunity, and peace. You now carry the responsibility of applying the knowledge you have gained. Today, more than ever, Sri Lanka needs leaders who can think critically, act ethically, and engage collaboratively in shaping our future. Remember, international relations is not just about theory. It is about people, communities, and whichever professional path you choose to pursue, step forward with confidence, compassion, and a commitment to making the change I know you want to make. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister. Inuri Ayodhya in the Hill. Best Student Award.